In 2009, I used the power of comics journalism to tell the graphic backstory of US involvement in Honduras. The comic was several pages long, and as soon as it was published online, it reached about 20,000 people in the first couple of days. Within weeks, it was translated into several different languages, and I ultimately turned it into an iPhone app. So the goal of what I'm going to do today is to give you an introduction to comics journalism and some of the techniques that I use in relaying news stories in a visual format. First of all, when I approach a news story, I go about it the same way any traditional journalist would, with research, sourcing, interviews. The difference here is that I represent my interviews in visual format. Direct speech is in speech balloons. I can incorporate captions for interior monologues, and as you can see, I also add infographics like maps. Oral testimonies. This is a real advantage of comics journalism because it allows me to put readers really at the heart of the stories and to really let them experience and raise awareness of these people who don't ordinarily have the voice that you would ordinarily hear. Visual explainers. I find that comics are the perfect way of synthesizing a lot of complex information in a very easily intelligible and accessible way. Here I'm boiling down how mountaintop removal works in a series of different panels. Drawing objectivity. This is one of perhaps the most common critiques leveled at comics journalism, and the idea of an editorialization. I would say that even photographs, as we see in the era of Photoshop, or in fact any sort of video, can in itself be editorialized. What comics allows you to do is to include yourself, as you can see here, I'm in the left corner. I include myself as a participant in the story, really bringing to light the transparency in my journalistic creative process. This year, I've had a lot of experience with data visualizations, the incorporation of interactive graphics as a way of translating a lot of complex data into a single compelling image. So what I see comics as is a translation of that into a narrative equivalent. So here you can see I've used a cutaway, almost like a metafictional way of perceiving different layers of what's going on in this story, here based in the islands of Chagos. Lastly, this is one of the prototypes I've been working on, incorporating a more visual, digital format into my comics. As you can see in the top left panel playing now, I've incorporated video and animation. Another thing that I've aimed to do in explaining something as complicated as you can see in the financial crisis, as you roll over in the third panel, you can see a hover link appears with a pop-up that would bring readers to hyperlinked information about each individual panel. So in this way, they're able to navigate a great deal amount of information very quickly and easily. I started today by telling you about my experience with the Honduran coup and how I brought an important story to life in a very simple, easily accessible, visually compelling way. I hope that you've got a sense of where comics journalism is going and the richness, really, and the potential that this world is yet to explore. Thank you.